Part 125. A Letter to the Caesar. The Caesar, Emperor of Rome, was Heraclius, who gained fame for his military success after the Roman Empire was on the brink of extinction. His success was predicted in Surah al-Rum.
Alif, Lam, Mim. The Romans have been defeated in a nearby land, yet following their defeat, they will triumph within a few years. Surah 30, verses 1-3.
At the time of Revelation, the Romans were nearly destroyed by the Persians, and such a prediction was unfathomable. Surely enough, Roman victory transpired soon after, as divinely ordained. The prophet sent a letter via Dihya al-Kalbi to the governor of Bosra, Syria, not to be confused with Basra, a city in southeastern Iraq. Abu Sufyan, who was trading in Syria, still non-Muslim at the time, narrates that he was called to the Caesar's palace for questioning. The Caesar wanted to inquire about the prophet, but knew Abu Sufyan was his adversary, so he orchestrated a setting to ensure he would tell the truth. The Caesar instructed Abu Sufyan to stand ahead of his companions and instructed his companions to make a gesture if Abu Sufyan lied, presumably incentivizing their compliance. Abu Sufyan remarked,
"By Allah, if I had not been afraid that my companions would have accused me of lying, I would not have spoken the truth."
The Caesar asked,
"Has anyone in your society claimed to be a prophet before him?"
Abu Sufyan replied,
"No, he was the first."
The Caesar asked,
"Were any of his ancestors kings?"
Abu Sufyan replied,
"No."
The Caesar asked,
"Are his followers the rich and noble or the poor and downtrodden?"
Abu Sufyan replied,
"The poor and downtrodden."
The Caesar asked,
"Are their numbers increasing or decreasing?"
Abu Sufyan replied,
"They are increasing."
The Caesar asked,
"Do the converts give up and leave or remain in the faith?"
Abu Sufyan replied,
"They remain in the faith."
The Caesar asked,
"Have you ever previously accused him of lying?"
Abu Sufyan replied,
"No, we know him to be an honest man."
The Caesar asked,
"Does he break his promises?"
Abu Sufyan replied,
"No, he has not broken any promises, but at the moment we have a treaty, and we are not sure whether he will break it or not."
The Caesar asked,
"Have you ever warred with him?"
Abu Sufyan replied,
"Yes."
The Caesar asked,
"What was the outcome?"
Abu Sufyan replied,
"Sometimes they win, and sometimes we win."
The Caesar asked,
"What does he command you to do?"
Abu Sufyan replied,
"He commands us to worship Allah alone, and not worship anything our forefathers used to worship. He ordered us to pray, be chaste, speak the truth, and retain good ties with our relatives."
The Caesar then explained his questions. He said,
"I asked you if anyone claimed to be a prophet before him, and you said no. If the answer had been yes, it may have been a fad. I asked you if his ancestors were kings, and you said no. If the answer had been yes, I would have said that it was a tactic to regain his kingdom. I asked you if he had been accused of lying, and you said no. If a person never lied about money, how could he lie about God? I asked you if his followers were rich or poor, and you said poor. This is the way of all the prophets of God. I asked whether his followers were increasing or decreasing, and you said they were increasing. This is also a sign of truth. I asked you if anyone left his religion, and you said no. Whence faith enters the heart, it can never leave the heart thereafter. I asked if he ever betrayed you, and you said no. The prophets of God can never betray or break a promise. I asked you what he ordered you to do, and your answers are all the marks of a prophet. If what you have said is true, then he will very soon occupy this space under my feet. We knew that God would send somebody, but we did not expect it to be from your race."
He then called for the prophet's letter to be opened. The prophet's letter read as follows: In the name of Allah, the most compassionate, most merciful, from Muhammad ibn Abdillah, the messenger of Allah, to Heraclius, might of the Romans, salvation will be for whoever follows the guidance. Surah 20, verse 47. To proceed, I call you with the call of Islam. If you embrace Islam, Allah will give you a double reward. But if you turn away, then you will bear responsibility for the sins of the Byzantines. Say, O people of the book, let us come to common terms, that we will worship none but Allah, associate none with Him, nor take one another as lords instead of Allah. But if they turn away, then say, bear witness that we have submitted to Allah alone. Surah 3, verse 64. Abu Sufyan muttered to his companions,
This matter has become so big that the ruler of the Romans is scared of him.
As he narrated, he remarked,
That was when I realized that this matter, that is Islam, would eventually prevail, and Islam entered my heart for the first time.